Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We're still doing Angelina Jordan, and today we're meeting her through one of my favorite YouTubers. Hello, Miss Psycho.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm good. I've been looking forward to this meeting for many, many weeks because I know you have a lot to say about Angelina Jordan and many other things as well.
Well, I hope I don't disappoint you.
No,
because
no, no.
I'm not sure I have so much, but I have a lot of love for her. That's for sure.
Oh,
but I'm not good with words as you are.
No, me too. I have a lot of love for her as well. And what I do is I try and show why she is so wonderful. And there are so many different ways of showing that. And I pick up the baton and run with it. And you are part of picking up the baton because you are a fan and you have a very unique view of her and very unique perspective, which leads me to my first question. Miss Psycho, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Oh, well, I am trained as an architect, but I ended up wanting to write songs for a living. So I started a YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it on the music side.
Right. And should we think of you as a singer-songwriter, or should we think of you as a songwriter-singer? Which is primary and which is secondary?
Songwriter-singer, yeah. For now, it's songwriter-singer.
Now,
I hope that it's actually on the same scale later on.
You mean later on, meaning in 5 years' time or 10 years' time?
5.
Okay.
4 to 5, if I can even.
Medium term, not long term. I have something for us to listen to, and this is one of the songs that you wrote with Angelina Jordan in mind.
Yeah, just a snippet of it because it's on my channel already right now. So
okay, well, let's listen to this together, and then you can talk us through it afterwards. It's very short, but it's very interesting.
I could take the hollow night and wrap it around you. I could take the neon lights and make a crown for you. I lose again.
How, as a songwriter, do you promote yourself? How, as a songwriter, do you get this singer that you want to hear what you do and possibly that must be very difficult.
Yes, especially because I don't have any songwriting experience prior to this year. I have songwriting for myself and for other people. I have ideas on my computer, but I've actually only started this year to write songs and put them out. So I started in July for Diana Ankudinova. It happened for a video. I did a sort of a pitch where I said the problem with Diana Ankudinova. So you have this issue, so please call me. I had that arrogance to do it because I just wanted to write for her.
And so, did she contact you? Did she make contact with you?
Yeah, she actually did. She followed me back on Instagram. So we started to, well, we exchanged a little bit, and then other people started to write to me, encouraging me to go for it. So I did. I mean, and now at my third song, hopefully one of the first two will get picked on. I don't know.
How do you get an international star to respond to you? I think you're incredibly lucky because it's not easy to have that done.
Let's say Diana was kind of special. I don't think I can get that easily to Angelina. Angelina, I think, will be a long, long, long wait.
Yeah,
because Diana doesn't have the team Angelina does. Diana has just a few friends around her, if we are honest about it, and they don't actually know that well what to do with her. They didn't, at least, because now she's in a show, in a contest where she's getting quite a lot of support from her fan base and the new fan base that's coming to her channel. But Angelina has much more international recognition.
Yeah,
Diana is still stuck in the Eastern European countries.
Okay, I understand. Now, there's another clip, which I believe it's called Bimbo. Let's listen to this together, and then you can explain what it is and how it is and why it is, because it's a very, very curious type of clip, okay? Let's go with this.
I want that front row seat, all mine, in the shadow of your CEO, so it could never across his eye. He's so much bothered up.
Bimbo, pretty face, expensive dresses, big name, sequined dresses, anonymous behaviors that make your face go famous. If only you for time.
I know you're expecting an explanation from me
Well,
about the first part as well.
Is that possible? Is there an explanation?
And there is.
Okay, go.
So I like to acting, and I like to play characters. That I think you kind of noticed that about me in my videos and in the podcast that we did together. The explanation would be that I want to find a way to convey that to my songs. And that would be through changing techniques all the time. And I thought as well, from the marketing perspective of it, that singers try nowadays to have one type of voice, sometimes it could be manufactured technique, but they try to stick with that style and just sing it all through their songs. But what if I could bring those characters together in my own songs and sort of play with my own self? Does it make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And it makes me think of two things. One is the video that you did with 41 different voices, which is incredibly talented. And it's exactly what you were describing, because what you were doing is you were very playful, and that playfulness is really dominates all of that whole video. And the other thing is, when you're describing the different type of voices, it makes me very much think of the subject of our video today, which is Angelina Jordan. And she is known as the girl with 1,000 voices. And she is not necessarily playful with it as you are, but we are very full of admiration of how she is a chameleon. She just changes and puts on any voice, and she does it really quite miraculously. And this is one of the things that we are most impressed with.
Yeah, but I think Angelina is much more special than somebody who just does impressions. Angelina has those influences in her voice, but it's still Angelina. And somebody like me, a modest human being, it's just imitating the voice, but Angelina is taking it, transforming it, and then putting it out. So
okay. The next clip we will listen to is really very strong impact, and it's 10 seconds. First Lana Del Rey singing, and then you singing the same words, and then Angelina. Let's listen to this, and you just talk us through it, because this is a really special clip.
Oh, my heart, it breaks every step that I take, but I'm open at the gates. They'll tell me that you're mine. It's like I told you, honey. Don't make me sad, don't make me cry. Sometimes life is not enough. Oh, my heart, it breaks every step that I take, but I'm hoping at the gates. They tell me that you're mine. It's like I told you, honey. Don't make me sad, don't make me cry. Sometimes love is not enough. Oh, my heart is raised every step that I take, but I'm hoping that the gates, they'll tell me that you're mine. It's like I told you, honey. Don't make me sad, don't make me cry. Sometimes love is not enough.
I like that you put Angelina at the end. It's like, okay, look who's the queen in this. Look who owns the song.
Well, it's sort of like when you have a good meal, at the end of the meal, you have a dessert, which is the,
Yes.
may I speak French? It is the piece de résistance at the end of the meal.
Oui, je comprends tout à fait.
Okay. Some people occasionally have reactions like an open book. And as soon as the Angelina Jordan version came on, you melted. It went right through you like a hot knife through butter. And I could see how you were reacting to the total velvet quality in her voice.
I thought a little bit different. I think that Lana is about she's like a queen standing there with her two lions, and it's about a warning. Like she's warning, don't make me cry, don't make me sad, don't make me all this. In my case, even by my movements, it's about almost insecurities. Like, please don't do that to me.
Okay.
And then Angelina comes in with the pain in her voice, because she has a little bit of pain. Like, even if you do this to me, I'll be okay, but I'll feel pain. So I'm not sure about the velvety quality.
It's really, really interesting because you define the three different performances in terms of the subtlety of difference in the emotional content.
Yeah.
Where I hear the difference in the voice, but without being as tuned to the emotional content as you are. And I really like your view of it, because music is magic and music just reaches the parts that other things cannot reach. So I really like your interpretation of it.
Well, I think you're more academical and I'm a little bit more emotional. That's why we see two different sides.
Well, I more and more try and focus on the emotion, and it's moments like this where someone like yourself brings me back to the emotional focus, because that, I think, is one of the most special things about Angelina Jordan, the emotional reaction she has in people. And that's why Pontus and I very specifically have our podcast, for exactly that reason. The main feature of today's video is we're hearing Angelina Jordan doing what might be your favorite song by her, and it certainly is one of my favorite songs by her. And before we hear her version, let's hear a little bit sample of the original. By the way, when Baby Fuzz wrote the original, he actually did not record it until after Angelina Jordan recorded her version. So that is very interesting. And it's just such a completely different feel to the two versions between Baby Fuzz and then what Angelina Jordan does. Let's have a listen now.
I've been hanging on your shadow for so long, dreaming about an old tomorrow in a song. And I'll keep holding out for you. I'm still holding out for you. Lord, another late night wasted on my own.
I'll carry on with Angelina.
I've been hanging on your shadow for so long, dreaming about tomorrow in a song. And I keep holding out for you. I'm still holding out for you. Lord, another daylight wasted. I'm on my own, looking through 1,000 faces on my phone. And I'll keep holding out for you. I'm still holding out for you. You can take my breath away, but I'll still be breathing. You can take your love away, but my heart will still be beating for you. I go down to the river, when on the water, break out in livers, me from your eyes, and even if I drown, I gotta hold it down
Oh, please, please, please have her sing more songs like this.
There are many reasons why I like that song. For me, the start in one of like the purest essence of jazziness that I've heard. Just her approach is so jazzy. And then the mood changes and she captures the change of mood. It's almost like a desperation in like the last minute. And then at the last 10 or 20 seconds, she goes into either a calm or a resignation where the mood changes again. The accuracy and the definition of how much she's captured those moods, which is really, really impressive.
For a second, I was confused because you said the word desperation, and then you explained it, and then it made sense. But I saw it in a similar way. It's just for me, it's not about desperation. It's about owning your pain or your suffering while thinking about somebody. Because she starts with quite a lot of confidence, but confidence, painful confidence, if it makes sense, goes bada 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 boom boom and stops. And then when she sings the "I'm still holding out for you," it's fragile. And even with the technique with the falsetto part, she goes fragile. And then again, she owns the pain and then she lets it out. It's like inside, outside all the time. It goes back and forth. And then at the end, that's why I disagree a little bit with desperation, because I feel like she's owning that she's suffering, but she will be okay because you can do whatever, I'll still be breathing, the words saying that.
I like what you said. I happen to agree with you. It's very interesting because there's such a fine and delicate and complicated balance between reacting to the emotion of the music or reacting to the content of the lyrics. And it's very, very difficult to separate the two. And sometimes we have to merge them. And that's sort of, it's like the difference between hearing music with one speaker or hearing music with two speakers. Sometimes you just have an extra dimension when you have the music plus the lyrics.
Yeah, good observation. Because I feel like you got caught in her universe, in her emotions. And with the podcast and with the reactions, you're just trying to figure out how it's doing that effect on you.
Where I try and start is with my emotional reaction. And my emotion, I did a whole video about my initial emotional reaction. And one of my emotional reactions is amazement, but also bewilderment. And I've spent a year trying to put into words the nature of my amazement and bewilderment. And I have a very thick dictionary behind me, so I haven't run out of words yet.
Please don't. And actually, I don't think you will.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you won't. But yeah, I don't want to compare both. I don't want to compare Baby Fuzz and Angelina because it would be unfair. It's two different takes on it. Baby Fuzz is, even with the production, it's like staying in the shower, in the bathtub and thinking of somebody that you can't let go of. And Angelina is taking that pain, going out there and making something out of it. And thinking back of the way she plays with the voice at the end, where you said it's a little bit desperation, just the fact that she plays with the drown word, where she goes like drown, like with the rest, it's sort of a proof to me that she is willing to accept that pain, but maybe in the future somehow let it go.
Yeah, I love the way she says the word drown, and she also says the word down in the same way. And it's like she gives it a certain bite. She has a bite to it.
Yep.
And that bite not only gives it emphasis, but it just makes it really powerful. We do think of her as primarily a jazz singer, and in many ways, this is really one of her most jazzy songs. The way she just weaves in and out of jazziness is just wonderful.
I actually thought of it last time you asked me, why do I think she's a jazz legend in the making? Because she's not doing currently jazz. But I think that this song is a proof that she will be a jazz legend, but later on, but now she has to go for a different phase, have a taste, have a glimpse of something else, and then go back to jazz and just do something that would revolution it, if it makes sense.
We diehard fans who follow her closely really think that the R word is really important, that she's, in her own way, she's revolutionary, but without guns and without explosions, but just an explosion of talent. She's a revolutionary in that sense.
I think that for the artistic identity, she has to go extra. I don't want any hate, but I think she has to go extra at some point in a 5, 6, 10 years with the visuals that go together with her power and voice. And then she will make it believable for everyone else that is not a fan right now. People don't have that patience to actually try to listen to good music. So they will listen to anything that's on the radio. If you put out something that it has visuals, that has the voice, that has the production, that has the personality of that artist that go together like in a coherent bubble, if it makes sense, they will buy it. So
Okay.
I think that's where she has to work on it. But it's crazy that at 10, if at 10 she does this already with the voice, then I don't know, imagine in 10 years.
It's very, very interesting when you use the word extra, and then you elaborate about the nature of the full package that she needs to
Yeah,
present for the current media and for the mass market. I think you might be right. She has the pure talent. It's just a matter of presenting it into the marketplace.
And you're saying what I can't say.
Ms. Psycho, thank you very much for dropping by today. Thank you very much for your input, and thank you very much for your talent. And maybe if we're really, really lucky, maybe one day Angelina will sing one of your songs.
Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. And really thank you for inviting me and for your, let's say, trust. Thank you for welcoming me on your channel.
Well, as you know from doing your own videos, sometimes making a video can be a lot of fun, and this has been a lot of fun talking to you, love.
Yep. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.